Hi, and welcome back to our series on Atlanta's Comprehensive Development Plan, otherwise known as Plan A. I'm Patrick Ford, the Community Planning Manager for Livable Buckhead. In the last video, we gave an overview of what a comprehensive development plan is, why it's important, and why you should be involved. In this episode, we'll delve more deeply into the specifics of Plan A, walking you through it to get you more familiarized with the document. So, what exactly is in Plan A? Well, it's a document that contains several chapters, two of which we are going to be talking about in greater depth in this video. But before we do that, here is a brief overview of what else is in the document. In addition to land use and neighborhood planning, Plan A also includes chapters on transportation, covering plans and policies to improve mobility and reduce congestion, housing, addressing housing needs, affordability, and diversity of housing options, economic development, strategies to promote business growth and job creation, broadband and internet, ensuring access to high-speed internet across the city, ecology, including environment and sustainability aspects, urban design, focusing on the aesthetic and functional aspects of the city's physical layout, historic preservation, protecting and maintaining Atlanta's historic sites and structures, planning for police, fire, and emergency medical services. Plan A will also include an implementation element, which provides a clearer understanding of how the City of Atlanta will execute the plan. None of the chapters and sections just mentioned have been officially released yet, so the focus right now is on what is currently available for review. So, let's dive into Plan A. Where exactly can we find it? Well, simply go to atlantaforall.com and you'll be able to read the document for yourself. There are three aspects of this document. 1, the plan itself. This includes a draft land use and neighborhood element, which we will be examining in detail. 2, supplemental information. These are the appendices for the document. 3, the map. This shows the proposed neighborhood development patterns the city plans to implement. The plan starts with a set of introductions. It includes background information about Atlanta and some historical context before moving on to vision and goals. As you can see here, after the vision and goals, the plan moves on to discussing growth areas and conservation areas. Briefly, they are growth areas, locations the city has determined to be optimal for future development. Conservation areas, locations where growth is not optimal or areas designated for preservation in their current state. On page 34 of Plan A, you'll be able to see the new vision for how a new concept called development patterns will guide the course of future development within the City of Atlanta. Development patterns replace the existing terms, future land use and character areas used in the current CDP. These development patterns will ultimately be used to inform what Zoning 2.0 will develop into as both processes proceed. This diagram here shows a continuum of development on two different axes. 1, the first axis. From the center to the right, you'll see increasing intensity of development, sometimes referred to as density. 2, the second axis. From the center to the left, you'll see land uses moving from pure residential to mixed uses that are still compatible with residential uses. As you move further right, you will see land uses that are typically not compatible with residential uses. On this diagram, you will see the individual development pattern categories labeled. This is based on the same diagram that you saw before, now with the actual category names that we are going to discuss. This should help you better understand the context as it moves from low to high density and from residential only to complete non-residential land uses. The city has also added a proposed development pattern and zoning compatibility table. This is a rough overview of each of the new development pattern categories you see here and the current zoning codes that would be considered appropriate for those development patterns. It is important to note that these are the current zoning categories and not the new zoning categories under Zoning 2.0. Those will be added in a later draft. Stay tuned for the next episode as we explore these new development patterns and their implications for future growth in our community. I'm Patrick Ford, and this has been another episode in our series on Atlanta's Plan A Comprehensive Development Plan. Together, let's build a more livable Buckhead. See you next time.